New this morning at 6 o'clock, a recent audit shows a couple of local companies may be illegally towing cars. We're going to tell you which Portland communities appear to be targeted. Plus,
know that Police Bureau is 100% committed to minimizing any criminal activity.
It'll be all hands on deck this November as the Portland Police Bureau prepares for possible protests and violence on Election Day. How police are planning to keep the city safe just ahead.
And the Kearns neighborhood in Portland making it to the big time as one of the top coolest neighborhoods in the world. That's worth repeating. Top coolest neighborhoods in the world. Why a global magazine put this Northeast neighborhood above the rest. We cannot promise you the coolest news team.
Wait a minute.
Oh, come on.
But what we will promise you is the most accurate news team. Starts with Ashley's traffic, continues with Chris's weather. You're pretty good at the headlines.
Oh, thank you.
We're not cool, but we're accurate, baby.
He's a pretty good comedian too, so he ups our coolness factor.
Who?
Thank you.
That's nice. Yeah, the least cool of all. Chris, mosey on.
I'll mosey on over here and be not. You know what's not cool? The weather this morning is not as cool. There's my segue to where we've been the last couple of mornings. We are mostly clear over downtown. I think the light of day here is starting to show just a little bit from our Wells Fargo sky camera. It's 54. Last check at PDX. Last couple of mornings we've been down in the 40s in downtown. It's 47 right now in Beaverton, 46 in Hillsborough. As we slide south in the Willamette Valley right now, Salem waking up to 56. All right, the plan for today, maybe some brief morning clouds. Those will be out of here this afternoon. We will be cooler than yesterday. PDX at 81 yesterday. Today we top out in the upper 60s. Ashley?
Yeah, we're following a crash on Interstate 84 this morning. Want to give you a closer look. This is right about at 67th Avenue or so. You can see it's stretching back much further than that now as folks are trying to get into the city. Now, I want to give you a look at this Oregon Department of Transportation camera. You can see some kind of emergency responders here, at least directing traffic so that folks can get through one lane here, westbound 84. Now, I want to give you a look a little bit further back. This is 84 at 82nd Avenue. You can just see the building up of traffic here. So expect it to take a little bit longer as you're heading in and commuting this morning. Want to give you a look though at Interstate 5 here in Tualatin. Things moving right along as well as near the Interstate Bridge here. Lots of elbow room there. We'll continue to follow that crash on Interstate 84. China, Drew.
Thank you, Ashley.
It's a problem that I think Portland needs to deal with.
Portland's Ombudsman's office is sounding the alarm about a rise in what's described as predatory towing.
They say some Portland towing companies may be targeting low-income tenants. Thomas Schultz joins us now in the newsroom. So, Thomas, which communities are being impacted here?
Yeah, well, guys, in Northeast Portland, Coley neighborhood tenants of property owned by Hacienda CDC say they've seen a rise in towing. And there's confusion over parking rules. Signs are only in English. Many clients' primary language is Spanish. Now, clients at the Multnomah County Community Center, which caters to immigrants and refugees, have also seen an increase in tows. And the Ombudsman's office says these fees are hitting low-income immigrant communities the hardest. An investigation found one tow cost nearly half a month's rent at a studio apartment at one of these properties. Daily storage fees in a tow yard can also ramp up cost of recovering a vehicle. If residents can't afford fees, their vehicles are auctioned off, of course without a car. The Ombudsman's office says people may be at risk of losing their job and could even face eviction. This all leaves Portland officials wondering if these tows are legal.
Well, we found that this apartment complex had more tows than any other in the city during 6 months, a 6-month period. We also found that many of the tows were occurring in the middle of the night, which is likely in violation of state law.
And last year, from June through December, 178 vehicles were towed in this area. Now, the Ombudsman's office recommends implementing safeguards like warnings on first offenses to prevent predatory ticketing. Drew?
All right, thank you, Thomas, reporting live there in our newsroom. Also new this morning, starting Monday, all battleground police officers are going to start wearing body cameras. The city approved buying the cameras back in May. The city says the cameras will provide better transparency and public confidence in policing. Battleground joins a lot of local cities in our region, including Portland, giving officers body cameras for the first time.
Later today, the Gresham High School Student Union will attend a school board meeting to urge the board to appoint a new principal. And this comes after a 17-year-old student was arrested on Friday, September 20th, for allegedly threatening a person with a gun outside the school and then brought the gun inside. according to the student union. Even though school administrators knew there was a loaded gun on campus, the school was not placed on lockdown. Now, students and staff say that they're concerned over school leaders' ability to handle safety concerns. Tonight's meeting is at 7, and students say that they are now planning to walk out of classes tomorrow. Today, the Gresham-Barlow School District is holding a grand opening for its first student health center. The health center, located across the street from Gresham High School, will officially open to students next Tuesday and will provide services to help students' mental and physical well-being.
All right, let's get to our top national story this morning. It's the vice presidential debate between Democratic Governor Tim Walz and Republican Senator J.D. Vance.
Last night's debate was the first and only debate that the two will have before Election Day. And over the course of 90 minutes, they touched on topics like Iran's attack on Israel, inflation, health care, gun violence, and immigration. Here's how Senator Vance responded to a question about former President Donald Trump's proposal calling for the mass deportation of migrants.
We've got 20, 25 million illegal aliens who are here in the country. What do we do with them? I think the first thing that we do is we start with the criminal migrants. About 1 million of those people have committed some form of crime in addition to crossing the border illegally. I think you start with deportations on those folks. And then I think you make it harder for illegal aliens to undercut the wages of American workers. A lot of people will go home if they can't work for less than minimum wage in our own country. And by the way, that'll be really good for our workers who just want to earn a fair wage for doing a good day's work.
Governor Walz responded by pressing Vance on his false claims about Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio.
This is what happens when you don't want to solve it. You demonize it. And we saw this. And Senator Vance, and it surprises me on this, talking about and saying, I will create stories to bring attention to this. That vilified a large number of people who were here legally in the community of Springfield. The Republican governor said, it's not true. Don't do it. There's consequences for this. There's consequences. We could come together. Senator Langford did it. We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue.
Ballots for Oregon voters hit the mail in 2 weeks. On Wednesday, October 16th, Washington's ballots will go out 2 days later.
So Election Day is just 5 weeks away now. That has Portland police preparing for protests and the real possibility of violence. 8 years ago, after Donald Trump won the presidency, protesters staged nightly street takeovers, blocking roads, blocking freeways. There was rioting and people throwing bottles and flares at officers. 4 years later, when President Biden won the election, things were more peaceful. But the night of President Biden's inauguration in January of 2021, far-left protesters did hit the Democratic Party's Portland headquarters, smashing windows there and tagging walls. So to help with policing this time around, the Bureau's Rapid Response Team is back after a 3-year hiatus. And Police Chief Bob Day says he's canceling days off, with staff working mandatory 12-hour shifts.
My message to those that intend to engage in criminal behavior is that we will be interdicting that behavior. We will be stepping in. We'll be making arrests. We'll be recommending cases for prosecution.
Portland police numbers are still down these days. Right now, the Bureau has about 800 sworn members. There were more than 1,000 sworn members 5 years ago before the pandemic. All right, before we get to Chris and his forecast, something we mentioned right at the top of the hour. Portland with a major shout out from a global magazine. Time Out Online magazine has ranked the Kearns neighborhood as the 5th coolest neighborhood in the world, the whole planet.
Wow.
The online magazine said a neighborhood's cool factor reflects the best of its city's culture, community spirit, food, and drink. Only 38 cities were named altogether, and the Kearns neighborhood again in the top 5 in the world. The writer shouted out Friendship Kitchen, Keck's Hotel, and Hart Coffee in their recommendation. So here's a fun fact for you on this Wednesday. Portland is the only city in the top 5 that is located here in the U.S. So there you go, the only U.S. city on that list right here in the great city of Portland.
Do you smell that?
What is it?
It smells. It smells like a What to Do with China and Drew in Kearns.
Oh, there you go. How about that? What to do
with China and Drew in Kearns.
Good job. There's some pretty swanky looking bars, coffee shops. Those photos were pretty enticing. So
I didn't know we were going there.
You've got. You're set up. All right, just take the company credit card and we'll bring back some goods for us too. Let's give you a good-looking sunrise here from our Timberline camera atop, well, not atop, but up at 6,000 feet on Mount Hood. You can see the light of day beginning to show itself there. Temperature change this morning. We are 3 to 5 to 8 degrees warmer this morning than we were yesterday this time. Last check at PDX, as you start to see the cloud cover breaking up over downtown, we're 53 at the airport. We're 53 in Vancouver as well. Tigard waking up to 50. A lot of folks were in the 40s and even some 30s the last couple of mornings. Not the case this morning. At the beach today, becoming mostly sunny. Astoria tops out at about 65. It does turn a little breezy at the beach and through the Columbia River Gorge. The theme for all of us is cooler today as we get into the afternoon. The Dows yesterday, you were in the 80s. Today, about 72-ish. 68 in Vancouver. About 67 or 68 here in Portland after a high yesterday of 81. Salem yesterday was in the 80s. Today you'll top out at 71. And that is, again, the trend pretty much area-wide through the Columbia Basin, eastern Oregon, central and eastern Oregon, mid-60s for you folks in Bend. And again, at the coast, mid-60s today with a little bit of an onshore breeze later this afternoon. All right, weather-wise, there's not much going on today and tomorrow. So I want to quick take a peek at Friday because Friday is our next chance of rain, and it's a pretty good chance for measurable rain here. There's a cold front that sweeps through the region late morning, early afternoon Friday. As fast as it moves in, it moves out, but there is a 2 to 4 hour window, I think, where we all have a chance to get wet on Friday. So we'll walk you through that a little bit more coming up in a few minutes, but the rest of our 7-day forecast is looking pretty awesome heading into the first weekend of October.